Hi, my name is Baltic and I've just crossed the Baltic Sea on a paddleboard, and I'm now in the new North Outdoor store to tell a bit about my journey, because I again did this adventure just wearing merino wool from North Outdoor.
For this trip I needed to plan a bit more. I could carry only the very essentials, and if I forgot something there would be really no opportunity to get it on the way. The board weighed around 15 kilograms and all my other stuff another 15 without water included, and all of those I packed into 3 bags, with one being for clothes and food, one being for all the tools, hygiene stuff, first aid kit and cooking gear, and then one for my cameras and electronics. I went very lean with my packing. I only took 2 t-shirts, a pair of shorts, a hoodie, sweater, and boxers for clothes. I knew from my previous travels that I could easily wear the same shirt a few days in a row by just airing it out once in a while.
Made in Finland.
A typical day at sea. Well, I woke usually around 5 a.m. and had breakfast.
And good morning again. Eating is seldom anymore a nice experience. It's just fueling up. Now I left my porridge way too liquidy.
And I was out paddling by around 6 a.m. and then pretty much paddled for as long as I could.
It is 7 o'clock. We are 57.7 kilometers in, 11 hours and 20 minutes of paddling.
On the board I was able to snack on some nuts and protein bars, and weirdly I had much less appetite than normal, even though I was burning over 5,000 calories a day. Then in the afternoon or early evening I would find an island, set up camp, and force myself to eat 2 warm meals, chug some olive oil, and then maybe watch the sunset and go snuggle into my sleeping bag in the tent and read, listen to music, and eventually fall asleep, and then do the same all over again the next day. For food and water, I carried all my food, and with water I carried around 3 to 15 liters of water with me, and that I got from people's summer cottages, or then ask sailboats if they have some spare water, and they always had plenty. So the most intense moment, there are quite a few, from some intense encounters with snakes and birds to being quite anxious of the big crossing. But maybe one pretty intense moment was actually after the big crossing, as I was closing in on the lighthouse, after paddling 6 hours in the middle of the Baltic Sea. I was pretty excited to see the lighthouse ahead, but as I got closer I noticed that there's quite a bit of whitewash between me and the island. It looked as if there was almost like a reef between us, and the big ocean swell was breaking onto this reef.
I can see there's big whitewash and waves crashing on some rocks in front, so gotta check the map how to approach it.
Anyways, I then had to carefully navigate around these various breaks, and it was quite exhilarating, a good 30-minute flow state, and there was quite big waves crashing onto these rocks, and different currents formed in the minefield I was paddling in, but eventually I made it, and maybe it felt even better now to be on dry land. The key takeaway, there were maybe 3. The first one was personal, where I, of course, on these types of journeys, spend a lot of time alone, get a lot of space to think, away from the noise of society, and I get to understand myself and my body much better. And traveling alone, I had to quite a bit self-motivate and push myself to reach different milestones and goals. There's no one there telling me to continue going, telling me that I need to paddle this much today, or I need to get here, or there's a deadline for arriving in Turku. It has to all come from within, and that was pretty refreshing and gave me a good confidence boost and loaded up my perseverance reserves, one could say. And the second takeaway was probably about the sea. There's so much wildlife. The Baltic is home to hundreds of bird species that I got to admire on the journey. At the same time, I found myself often in the middle of these massive cyanobacteria, sinileva areas, which increase as we humans source more and more nutrients into the Baltic Sea for them to grow. So that was sad to see that direct effect of human activity. And then the third one was about paddleboarding. I saw many cottages with decent looking paddleboards on the terraces, and I too had paddleboarded a bit before, but it was also usually just a little fun 20-minute paddle in the water. But this journey now opened a whole new world for me and let me understand that you don't need to have a fancy boat or sailboat to explore the archipelago, but a paddleboard is more than enough, and actually quite the perfect vessel to travel for an overnight trip to, for example, some islands. I really hope to see many more people exploring the Finnish archipelago on a paddleboard, of course, wearing Finnish merino wool while they're adventuring out there. Thanks.